I'm really excited. I'm joined by one of the gospel scene's most loved singers, songwriter, actresses, founding member of global girl group Trin-i-tee 57, and now you're set to play Tina Turner in the Western musical version of her life. I am joined by Chanel Haynes. Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you for taking out the time, because you said before this that you just sat in the dressing room right now. So we appreciate you taking out the time, because it must be a really busy schedule being
Oh
on.
my gosh. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Obviously, we're really still working really hard around all of the COVID regulations, and which of course is ever changing. And also just what an incredible cast. There's so many things. We've waited a year and a half to come back and do this, and everyone is just so resilient, so supportive, compassionate, patient, and mad talented. And I just told them today how absolutely blessed I feel to be able to share the stage with them. They're dynamic, and I think anybody who comes to see this show, it's gonna not just entertain you, because I'm not here just to entertain, and I do love entertaining, but I'm here to move you, to share a story with you that will help you leave a little bit more inspired. So it's really exciting. It's my dream role, and I'm just really happy to be here.
That's what I wanted to ask as well, because I know that Tina Turner was an inspiration to you, or still is an inspiration to you. What is it like playing your inspiration? Because I guess going through all the years, you watch Tina Turner and you see these people, but to play her, what's that like? What is that like for you?
Well, I'm really, really into manifesting what God has put inside my heart. And I believe that the more specific and clear you are about what your desire is, and, along with preparation and cultivating, it's waiting for you on the other side. And so, I am living my dream. I've always wanted to honor her in some way because of what she's given to me. And yeah, what's really crazy is so much of the show, or really her life, is very similar to my own. So sometimes I get really choked up and really emotional sometimes, because it's, so often things that I'm even experiencing right now, or that I recently experienced. For example, Tina has two sons. I have two sons. And there's this scene where we're in the airport and I have to leave them in California to go and pursue my career in London and reinvent myself. And I just was like, oh my God. And it's just one of the hardest things in the world, is to leave your babies at the airport and tell them, Mommy will be back. And, I'm going to create a better life for us. And then to literally be in London on stage, living out my dream. It's just been such an amazing journey for me. And I just can't wait for everybody for me to share it with them.
Wow, it sounds amazing, but also emotionally taxing, because I guess if you are playing someone else and there are similarities, it's gonna draw on your own emotions that you may not have even been ready to even address right now, or that must be very, very emotionally just a lot sometimes.
Oh, not sometimes.
Right.
All the time. Because you never know how it's gonna hit you, because theater is live. Like, what you see is what you get. It's very raw. I don't come from a background of being a trained theater professional. I am Chanel. I sing. I've traveled the world doing shows and recording albums. I've never really done theater, certainly not on the West End or Broadway, that level. So I look around at everybody like, oh my God, they're like, just wait a minute, slow down, I just got here. The language is different in terms of, theater. They'll send me emails and say things that I'm like, I don't know what that means. But it's beautiful. I love just discovering who I am as an artist. This is also about ageism. Tina was told that she couldn't have this amazing next chapter of her life because she was too old, and that she was a Black woman. And you know, you have kids and all this stuff, and I'm all those things. And I embrace all of it. And age has nothing to do with the power and the essence and beauty and magnitude of who you are. You're a force first. Then that force is in the body of a woman, in the body of dark skin, in the body of an American or whatever, a Brit. So it's the force first. And that's one of the things I just learned from her is that's what goes before you, is the spirit, that spirit of God and that power. And people respond to it. They love it.
Wow, I love that. As a woman, our age is such a massive thing in that as soon as you hit like 30, everyone's like, right, it's downhill from here. And that can really play on you and your life and what you feel like you can do. So I'm glad that you said that, and I'm glad that that's something that you embody, that it is the force first, it's God, and then whatever he wants to do, he'll do it, no matter what age we may or may not be, which is great. You spoke about preparing for it. What kind of preparation, as soon as they said, right, you've got the role, what did you immediately do in terms of preparation and preparing for this massive role that you're about to take on?
You know, I've been studying Tina since I was a teenager. So the one thing that I hadn't researched and really tried to uncover so that I could understand it better was the physical abuse aspect of her life. I've never been hit or abused by a man. At the same time, I wanted to bring honor to the women who will be in the audience that have experienced this dreadful reality. And so what I did right away is I knew of one girlfriend who confided in me years ago and told me about her experience, just like real vague, like, and I never really pushed or asked any specific questions because it's just one of those things you just like, I don't really want to know, because the way I am is I don't want to have to come and find you because I'll get in my car and like, I'm that girlfriend. Like, yeah, you remember me? But I asked her if she and I could sit down and she could tell me thoroughly, detail what happened, how did it just, I still can see some of the images and remember some of the things that she said. And I wanted to take that so that when Ike strikes me, or right before he strikes me, what is the physical, like, because if a man come at me with a fist, I'm just like, try me, see what happens. Okay, I can't do that. You can't, that's not Chanel. So I had to figure out from her, what was it like? So that's immediately what I did, was get a firsthand story, because I promised her that every night that when I stand at the top of that stage at the end and Tina's name come out and it's, you know, it's the beginning and it's like, you're simply the best. I told her every night that that happens, that moment is for you and for every woman that overcame, that survived, because Tina's not at the top of those stairs because she's a great singer alone. It's because she survived it and she thrived. And so, yeah, that was I think, the hardest and also immediate thing that I did to bring real honor to the role of Tina.
Wow, that's a difficult thing to do as well, immediately to go into that, because I know people that have been through that, close family members, and it's just so hard hearing about it and then to take that and then have to internalize it and then put it out
Yes.
to other people. That's a massive weight, but I'm sure that you're doing I'm sure that you're doing it proud, and I'm sure that the women in the audience are probably looking, thinking, "Wow, we feel seen, we feel heard."
Yeah.
Makes me want to go see, man. I'm excited to go see. um,
You have to. I
I'm
would love that.
I'm going to, man. It sounds absolutely amazing. I know that Tina's a Buddhist as well, and from what I understand, you have to do certain chants or, um,
Hmm.
in line with that religion. Did that
Yeah.
conflict with your own beliefs? Because some Christians believe that things like that may be demonic, or, you know, you'll take things away from it. Did that conflict in any way, or did you just kind of think, this, I have to do it authentically and do it justice?
Yeah, I really have no space, time, or concern about what people think about my creative process. I know that I'm a daughter of the king, and acting doesn't change who I am. Um, and so what I've done is, yes, I'll give you an example. If a Buddhist was playing a role and they were playing a Christian, and what they had to do was say the Our Father prayer. And the way that they said the prayer was, Our Father who art in heaven, our Father who art in heaven, our Father who art in heaven, our Father. You'd be like, as a Christian,
Mm.
this is ridiculous. They didn't do their homework. So I learned the chant, the Buddhist chant, because I would want someone, if they were going to say the Our Father prayer, to at least know the prayer so that I can respect the process. And it's not demonic. I think so many people just live in fear of a lot of things. And fear itself is an illusion. You don't have to be afraid of something because someone told you, gave you their interpretation or information. You are a living, breathing person with your own thoughts, mind, relationship with God. We're professionals. We're also spiritual. And when I did my research on the prayer, it was, it's basically, obviously before Christ was here, Buddhism, I think, is 4,000 years old. And all of the essence of the prayer it has something to do with the darker the earth, the more beautiful the lotus, the flower. And I'm pretty sure there are similar scriptures in the Bible that is similar in terms of concept. It's nothing to be afraid of. So yeah, I'm 44 years old, honey. I know him. My daddy's been a pastor for 35 years. I'm a preacher's kid. I know the word of God. I know all 66 books. I learned them in Sunday school. I can quote scriptures all day, but that's not what makes you a Christian. It's knowing him and truly following his principles. I think I can't get caught up with the basically constant made up rules and regulations. It's exhausting. I just try to focus on the actual principles that I learned in Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd. I mean, I know them. Wow. Focus on that.
No, I think a lot of people would appreciate that, because it's similar when it comes to acting, and a lot of actors or actresses get criticized for taking certain roles when they're Christians, and they're like, I'm acting. I'm acting. It's not real life. I am just acting. So I think a lot of people would appreciate that viewpoint on it. When it comes to other aspects, I wanted to know, did you, or have you, I mean, I'm guessing you have, spoken to Tina Turner in preparation for this?
So basically what I do have are letters that she sent, 2 letters. Yeah, that was very encouraging, and congratulations. The best part about this experience, I haven't in person met her yet. I will. I have full intentions. Um, the cool thing about getting the role of Tina is she handpicks you. So you can go through all the hoops and auditions and everything. At the end of the day, on your very, very last audition, there's a piano player, a woman, and a camera. And that camera is the eyes and ears of Tina. And she gets it, and she makes her decision. And so just being chosen by her is just like so rewarding. It really is. To go throughout your career, and you know, people will say, "Oh, I think she's talented. She's okay," or you know, all these different opinions. But when Barbara Streisand or Tina Turner or Beyonce or, you know, entertainers that I look at them and I see the discipline and the respect, the longevity, if they say that's it, it's a done deal. Like, I just feel like Tina chose me. That means she values my talent and thinks I have what it takes. So yeah, she's pretty awesome.
An honor. It must be an absolute honor for her to look at you herself. I want her. That's an honor, man. How did you? So I know that you lost out on the Broadway one. How did you keep going after that? Because a lot of people, after that kind of rejection, they'd be like, "Okay, maybe it's not for me." What made you not give up when you got that initial rejection?
I thought something was wrong with them. I didn't think anything was wrong with me. So I immediately was like, what was that about? Well, you know, because I knew what I did in the room. And it was, you know, sometimes you can walk in a space and sometimes people have already arrived to a different place than where you are. So I feel like immediately the connection wasn't there. It wasn't because they weren't the best at who and what they do or that I wasn't. It was almost like just went past each other. So I just thought, okay, well, I know that this is not the only production, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I immediately just started researching the UK cast and where they were and in their process, because I knew it was coming to New York. So if it's coming to New York, then they're recycling or doing whatever here. So I Googled the top 10 agents of London from my gym. I was just in my gym like, who are the top 10? And out of 10 of them, 3 of them I really liked. I called them back, we had meetings. And of the 3, one, U Management, who Terrence is my agent. I told him, I want to work with you. I think we're a perfect fit. I want this job. I want Tina. I want Tina. He's like, I don't know if there's any auditions yet. I said, call. I was still in LA. I was not LA, in San Francisco. I was living in San Francisco. I said, please let me, as soon as you hear that there's an audition for Tina, call me. And he did, and I got in touch with the casting director, and I said, I am your next Tina Turner. I sent her 2 emails. I am your next Tina Turner. She asked me, can you be here October 21st? And I got on a plane 7 days later, and I flew out here, and I just lived here for 2 months, just tweaking and callbacks and auditions and all these things, learning the subway, not the subway, the underground and the buses, because we drive everywhere, and California is so big. So I was like jumping on trains and asking people, is this the right train? Where am I going? So yeah, and then they called me right before Christmas and said that I was chosen to play the role. So
Wow.
yeah.
That is such a confidence move. Like, that is when you know that God has something for you. That's moving off of that. That's saying, I know that's for me. So let me just go make it happen. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half of it is knowing what he promised you. And the other half is you are equipped and prepared for when the time comes. Because keep in mind, it takes 3 months to get a working visa here. So I had a working visa before I even was asked to come and audition. 3 months is because the first question is, and do you have a work visa? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. Like, what? We didn't even tell you had a job. Like, well, I'm ready. So
so to anyone that may be listening or watching this right now, that wants to come and watch you in this, what encouragement would you give? What would you say to them to make them come out and see this musical that could be life-changing, to be fair, from what you've said, from what Tina says about it? It could be something that they walk away from and they just feel a lot better in life. What would you say to them?
Especially after the isolation and shutdown globally, it has had such a tremendous mental effect, emotional, spiritual effect on people. And there's a lot of shows out there. Some are for kids that are like, and some shows are, I don't know, there's such a wide range, but this story, I feel, is obviously all about resilience and overcoming. Frankly, the abuse, the ratings for domestic abuse went through the roof during this time. If you were broken over the last year and a half, like most of us, if you were questioning everything, like, how in the world am I gonna come out of this? It's really inspiring to know that you're not alone. And it's not just Tina's story, but you're gonna be looking at a cast of people that all trained for a year and a half in their house, in their little room, in their studio, with masks on, jogging. Like, you're seeing not just the cast, props, the people the sound, the lighting, everything you are experiencing in that space is a room full of people that push through so that we could share our gifts with you. And when you're in that room, you're just like, some of the people's faces, there's just so much joy. So you can expect, I think, to be uplifted. One of my favorite parts is my father, which also Tina's father, is the preacher. And when he comes in there with those prayers, honey, come on down to the altar and get your blessing.
Amen.
I'm like, oh my God. So the spirituality, I mean, it hits you right at the top. It's really, it'll give you a jolt, and you kind of feel like, things are normal again. It's really nice.
Oh wow, man. Well, after hearing that, I'm sure a lot of people will be rushing to get it's currently now at the Aldwych Theatre in London.
Yes.
When is it running till?
It's just running. I mean, this is the 3rd year, and it's expanding. It's in Madrid, in the Netherlands, of course, in New York. It's probably, gonna be a national tour. Tina's not going anywhere. Her legacy is sealed. She is the queen of rock and roll, and she's here to stay. So, and I just would like to say to whoever's listening, I will certainly be looking forward to some Sunday morning services whenever I can. I want to try to find a couple of churches really where I can come and sing some of my favorite Trin-i-tee songs. And the best way to get in touch with me, like I mentioned earlier, is my agent Terrence at U Management, YOU, super simple. And so that I can get my church on a little bit, but yeah, it's a great time in our life, and I'm just really glad to be here.
You must actually miss that. I didn't even think about that, to be fair, because you've come from California to London. I mean, did you regularly go into church in California every week? Is it?
I didn't go every week. When I go to church, it's not because I'm supposed to go to church. I go because I'm moved to go, because I believe that there's something there for me specifically, and I'm gonna go and get it. And I certainly don't discourage people or tell them what to do or what not to do. That's not my place at all. I've been to a father that's a pastor for 35 years. You know how much church I've been to? Honey, Bible study, choir rehearsal, youth service, Sunday school, prayer meeting, all of it. So by the time I became a woman and I could wake up and go to church when I want, I was like, okay, I'm going to be very selective, because I don't want to be on autopilot when I go to church, personally. I want, when I go, every fiber in my body is like buzzing and it's fresh and new. And so, yeah, I do enjoy going.
It'd be great for you to find a church here. Hopefully people will get in contact so you can
yeah,
bless
I would love that.
Bless people with your music. The tickets for the musical, they can be found at tinathemusical.com/UK, which is great. And yeah, I just want to thank you for joining me, man. This has been an absolute blessing to just watch you and to hear you and to witness the confidence and the just hearing about the musical. It's excited me now to actually see it. So thank you for taking
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Premier Gospel.